Show. You guys already know we go live every Saturday with some guests, man. We got 3 special guests coming in for y'all today. Some guests that's doing some different stuff, some that's in the artistry space, that's making a difference in the world, but are also giving back into the school system with some programs. So we're gonna get all into that today. But before we welcome them to the show, Shaq T, how you feeling this morning, brother?
I'm doing good, my brother. Doing good, man. Easter weekend, definitely taking some time to give some energy to the Lord this weekend, man, and just be grateful for Resurrection Sunday. But other than that, man, I'm blessed, highly favored. How you living, brother?
Man, living my best life, bro. You know we got the master class coming up, the job to career. You know we got to put the shameless plug in there. Got to coming up on the 23rd. So super excited about that because I've never packaged all of this into one spot. So it's really cool that we can make a difference. And our average client has a pay increase of $35,000. That's about $3,000 a month. So.
Hit that money. Hit that money. Money man.
We need the money. We need to count it up for him.
Count it up. That 35K increase. Tap in with my boy D Scott.
Hey, man. 3 bands a month. And it's really funny because I never even thought about it over the past 3 years. I never added it up. I just did it out the goodness of my heart. But my coach is like, why you don't put that into the marketplace? I'm like, all right, I got y'all. So if you want to go from job to career, go ahead, tap in, link in the bio, man. Job to career masterclass coming April 23rd. It's gonna be 12 p.m. Eastern time. It's gonna be a half-day masterclass and learn all you need to know to make more money in a more fulfilling career. So that's all the promos I got outside of oil, rain, water. We're gonna talk about that a little later, most likely. So we can talk a little Austin today. But Shaq, you got anything else before we welcome the guests in?
I was just gonna give my Aura shameless plug, man. Aura Rainwater. Go get your daily dose of gratitude. Based in Austin, Texas. We actually have a partnership coming up between Freedom Founders and Aura Rainwater, so stay tuned for that. Earth Day is coming up April 23rd, 24th, I believe. So we'll have some promo. We'll have some programming coming out around that, man. So Aura Rainwater, Earth Day. Let's get it.
Hey, can't wait, man. Making a difference with what you put in your body and put a little gratitude in your body. Y'all know how we rock with the attitude of gratitude here with the Freedom Founders. But without further ado, man, we want to get right into the show. We got 3 brothers that's coming in here, coming from across the world, man. They all are spoken word artists. Some are international. They travel across the country, man. It's man. Hey, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna talk a little different lane today about what that looks like and what life looks like as an artist and how they're still giving back to the community, making the world a better place. So without further ado, I'd like to go ahead and welcome Jay, Brandon, and Sean to the show. Appreciate y'all brothers tapping in, man. How y'all brothers feeling this morning?
Man, blessed, healthy, and dream building.
Yeah, man, happy to be here. Let's go.
Again, blessed too. Thank you for having us. I'm happy to be here.
Yes, sir. And I ain't gonna lie, Jay came with the heat with the one-liner. What you said, dress? Hey, I already knew y'all was gonna have some bars, but let's get right into it, right? Because y'all all in the same similar space. We're gonna be talking about that a little bit, but let's tell the people a little bit more about y'all. So we'll start off with Jay first. Tell the people a little bit more about you, your story, who are you, what you do, and what you do with your life.
So my name is Jay Martinez the Poet. My day job, I'm a mental health tech at hospitals, so I sit with patients. I kind of like monitor, help, assist, counsel, talk to people. But outside of that, my official job is spoken word poetry 24/7. That's my 24/7. They say when you quit your 9 to 5, you start your 24-hour. So that's my entrepreneur hustle. And I do, and so I do a lot of traveling. Been touring the country for the last 5 years, doing about 26 to 40 cities a year. We also have an art company. We do stage plays, theater plays, 3 months out the year. So we do 3 of those every year. They're major productions. And then we also have school programs. I'm the community person for our art company. So I do a lot of slam poetry with kids. And then they compete against each other and win scholarship money to community colleges. And that's kind of how we give back to our community. And then I spit anytime, anywhere. Came from Newark, New Jersey. Survived the streets with a crazy traumatic childhood. And my poetry is just kind of saying my story would not go untold. And it's for all the kids that's experiencing the same thing out there. And that's kind of how I changed the world.
Yes, sir. I love that. So I used to live in Bloomfield. So I lived out
Yeah.
there for three years. Now I'm from Indiana, so like if you probably never been to Indiana.
Oh, I have.
Oh, you have? So you probably like, why y'all moving so slow? Like, what are y'all doing? Like, y'all ain't like, what's going on? But I went out there to Jersey, and I'm like, why are y'all moving so fast? I'm getting honked at 20 times a day. I'm just like, what y'all got going on? Y'all made me start talking faster. Y'all really put the hustle in my body for real. So shout out to Jersey, man. Shout out to Jersey, man.
That East Coast different. They honk when the light's still red. Light ain't even green yet. What you honking at me for, bro?
Hey, for real, man.
They be going nowhere fast. That's all it is.
Hey, good times in Jersey though. But let's throw it over to Brandon, man. Brandon Thornton. Tell the people a little bit more about yourself, man. Who's Brandon? What you do? All that good stuff.
So my day gig first. I'm a professor of mathematics and statistics. So I teach calculus, statistics, pre-calculus courses, and I'm also really involved in the school as far as bringing. Working with student organizations and with my mathematics department. There's a lot that goes in behind the scenes when you're full time. So that's what I do during the day. But at night, I'm a spoken word poet. Mainly what I do now is I put together shows. So I organize open mics here in Austin, also feature showcases. And then on top of doing poetry, we do a lot of other events. So we do trap and paint events. We do live music events. We do concerts. We got Bobby V coming next Saturday. So we do national concerts. I'm also involved with festivals here. We have a poetry festival that we do every year. And then we also have something called the Urban Music Fest. And I've just been named the promotion and marketing director over that. So I'm really involved in the Austin entertainment community, especially for Black people. But then I still spit too. I still travel. I'm getting back into traveling and performing more. I used to be a full-time poet and go to universities and colleges and just travel all across the country. So I still have that urge to go out and be on the road. But we've built something special here in Austin. So just trying to build on that.
Yes, sir. Can't wait to meet you, brother. We can't talk about all that we was talking about pre-show yet, but can't wait to meet you, bro.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. We're gonna dive in a little bit more about what that looks like. But let's go to Sean William. Let the people know a little bit more about yourself, Sean.
So during the day on my Clark Kent tip, I work with banks, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, First Financial. I do treasury management tech support, tier 1, tier 2 level tech support. But on my Superman thing, I am a spoken word artist, a curator, writer, do voiceovers, things like that. I'm a part of a collective called Fiveology. I guess we'll talk about that a little bit later on. I tour the country, workshops and at-risk youth organizations and spots like that. So I get it in.
Yes, sir. I love that, man. Hey, speaking of voiceover, man, we started a new podcast called the Next Play Podcast for athletes after sports. I may need to holler at you, brother.
Let's talk.
Yeah, let's talk. I put my money back with my people. So
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yes.
of course. Yes. Hey, I'm a circle down my notes so I remember to hit your line after this, bro. But cool. But let's get right into it, right? Because so it sounds like everybody's still having their day job, just like myself. I have the day job. I'm also an entrepreneur. I just want to kick it off and first ask and just open up whoever want to answer first. But we do a lot, right? You putting all your words and all your bars down. Plus you got the whole day job. Plus it's a whole night gig, so you probably getting up early, late nights. How are y'all managing all that time and making sure y'all doing everything and making sure you feeling all that fulfillment that you want to feel in life?
I pace myself. You know what I'm saying? I learned to literally write down things a whole month, what my month schedule look like. Because as an artist, you're being booked. You've got dates coming up. You've got interviews, podcasts. You got things coming up. So it's important to stay on that. If you don't have a habit of doing that, create that habit. It's important to have healthy habits because without change, then you really just you ain't progressing. And so then you learn. As a man, family, work, like you said, and everything like that, so many hours are required of us in so many different components of our lives, from the morning to the evening to the late night to the Saturday mornings, like being here doing these interviews. You kind of just have to compartmentalize all these times, and and wear the hat that you're required in those moments, and all still have to have your self-care and have time of things you like to do. So, really just spacing all your time and pacing yourself.
I'm big on using the calendar like Jay mentioned. So like I got my calendar planned out through like the whole summer. So for me, like I work like wake up at 5, go work out, and then so one thing that I found is waking up early gives you more time. Like that 5 to 9 a.m. If you could, man, if anybody starts that habit, like your day will be so much more productive. You'll have energy from
So
after you
millionaires
get
do.
home from the gym. Yeah, after you get home from the gym, like your mind is so much clearer. You can focus on your personal goals and then go to work after that, or even vice versa. You could go to work and then you have more time in the afternoon. So waking up early, I think, is big for entrepreneurs, as Jay called us, 24/7ers. You know what I mean? Not 9 to 5s. Um, and then I think one thing that's really made me successful in what I do is like some people have this thing where you can't be glued to your phone, but sometimes your phone is your best friend when it comes to business, right? So like responding to emails on time. If people are messaging you, check your messages. Don't wait 2 or 3 days to respond to people. Like I work with people like that, and it's bad. It feels like bad business when you're waiting 2 or 3 days to hear from people. So just really give that same respect if you're looking to do something that people are approaching you with for your personal business.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact. And Shaq already know how I feel about this morning routine. Shaq's the night owl, so he like to work at night. I'm the early bird. I get up at 5. I'm like, nah, bro. Like, cause my philosophy behind it is, at nighttime, my battery probably on 30%. You know what I mean? I ain't on 100. When I wake up in the morning, I'm on 100. I'm getting it in from 5 to about 8:30, like getting it in like I never had before. So I love that. What about you, Sean? You a night owl or a morning owl, brother?
I'm both. It's just whatever. I just try to keep it going. And remember, I'm in California, so your 7 o'clock is my like well, your 7 o'clock is
Yeah.
I'm trying to catch up with you guys. So I want to make sure I'm thinking about the people in the East Coast. So I'm trying to beat them. I feel for me, it's being disciplined. Um, Maybe one day it's gonna be like I'm the morning out getting all my stuff done in the morning. I mean, morning person getting all my stuff in the morning, and then maybe on the next day it's gonna be like I'm gonna be knocking out a lot of stuff at night. I'm always glued to my phone, so I hear what Brandon's talking about. I hate bad follow-up. So it's like I come from that corporate America while also bringing that, transitioning that into being an entrepreneur. So I know you can get dinged in corporate America if I send an email back 3 days later, 2 days later, and I ding my clients. I even ding myself like, oh, let me make sure I'm getting these emails back. Make sure, because you're missing out on opportunity, money, doors being open. Yeah, you just want to make sure. I was doing something just a little bit ago, and I look at my phone, and Brandon's like, "Hey, I need you on this. Click this link. I need you." And I'm like, "What? Right now?" "Yeah, right now." So if I wasn't paying attention to my phone, I might not be here right now. So I'm always looking at for opportunity, making connections, and yeah, that's how I look at it.
I love that.
Yeah, see, I'm definitely a night owl, man. So like Brandon's a mathematician, so he gets out the graphs work, man. So you start the graph off, I'm on the low end, but as you keep going, that graph ramps up. So by about 10 p.m. or midnight, my graph is all the way, I'm peaking. So that's how I operate, man. That first couple hours, I tried to be a morning person. I tried to get 5 or so. That lasted for about a week. I was like, man, let me get back to getting up a normal time where when I actually when I'm doing my productive things, I'm actually awake. So it works for me to be a night owl, but I actually envy y'all morning folks, man, because by 9 o'clock, y'all done hit the gym, got about 10 emails out. Y'all done had a productive day. I'm just now starting. I'm like, man.
Yeah. But you just gotta, I used to be the other way. And I still kind of am, because and the other thing is, this is the big thing. You see how we have 9 to 5s. So we're out all weekend, So then we're out until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning on the weekends, but then we got to go back to that regular schedule. When some people, they get to pick and choose. For us, we on the grind. We can't just pick and choose when we go out or what weekends we go out. It's our job, So being able to go back and forth between a night owl and a morning person, or just being productive when you're in whatever space you're in. As far as traveling, that's a whole other thing. Is how can you be productive when you're on the road, you catching flights, in a tour van, so learning how to be productive on the fly is important.
Yeah, that's real. The
Yeah,
travel,
man.
the travel was messing me up every time. You get in a good little workout routine, and it's like,
Mhm.
oh, I'm going for a week. I'm on vacation. I ain't going. Yeah, but I love that. What you gonna say though, Shaq?
Yeah, I was gonna say dive into that a little bit more, man. Like, what are some tactical things y'all do to stay disciplined on the road? Because I travel for my job as well, and when I'm on the road, so I used to pack gym clothes. Like, I'm gonna get my workout in. If I'm gonna be gone for 5 days, I don't even pack gym clothes no more because I already know I'm not gonna work out. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm gonna eat good. I threw that out the trash in the trash too because I don't even eat well on the road. So, how do y'all stay disciplined, especially traveling 2, 3 weeks out of you know 10, 11 months out of the year, like traveling, you spend half your time on the road. So just explain to us how you guys stay disciplined and, eating right, exercising, and doing the things that you need to do for your health, while you're on the road.
I I would say because I've been on the road for weeks on end sometimes and only been home a couple days out the month, But we've learned our lesson. We separated our times. We would do a weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then we take a week off. Then we're week out, to be home, help with promotion, things like that. But also the little small things. When you go to the gas station, instead of getting high sugar, all these other intakes, get some fruit. You know what I'm saying? Get this, do that. When you go to a restaurant, if you don't want to eat too much, just get the appetizer. Stay light. You know what I'm saying? Don't do too much. We're sitting down and driving a lot, or we're on a flight a lot. It's important to maybe try to hit up a gym, and not even a gym. If you're in a hotel, do something in the room. It's easy to do some squats and do some push-ups. It's just saying yourself to do those little things that you just be like, nah, I'm out. I ain't gonna do it. And actually just saying, let me just do 15 minutes of it. Even that much will help.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. Let's get into the more of the topic we brought up a couple of times of the touring, because for the people like me that I guess I'm an artist. I don't consider myself an artist though. You know what I mean? I'm not out here touring. I ain't out here doing that. I am a writer,
You don't
but
gotta be an artist to tour.
but like, what does that life look like? You know what I'm saying? For those that don't know, because I know it's probably late night, early morning, but what does that look like? How are y'all traveling? How are y'all moving? What's the tour life look like?
Yeah, I'm gonna let Sean talk about it more because both Jay and Sean has been on the road more than me recently. But um, I feel like it's almost like being a sprinter. So like a sprinter, they do all this warm up, they go to the track, and then they for 10 seconds, that's what they built up their whole day for, was that one 10-second race, or if it, a minute or whatever. Same thing for poets. Like it seems glamorous, but you're in a city and you're just chilling all day long until the show. And then when you get to the show, you might get there an hour beforehand. But you got that one 15-minute, 20, 30-minute time slot that's your time for that whole day. So I think, touring is as much of like when you're at the hotel, or whatever you're doing, you're staying productive during the day. You're doing the little things like Jay said, and then preparing yourself mentally. Now, what some poets do is they'll go to, they'll do promo events, like they'll do podcasts, or they'll go to the radio station in the city. I used to go to barbershops and beauty salons. I used to go around and promote what city I was going to be in. I took Jay a few times with me to the barbershops and beauty salons. So like I'm on the ground on in the city promoting. And then we used to make money selling CDs back in the day at these barbershops and beauty salons. So, just finding ways to stay productive throughout the day, and then, maximizing your time at your shows as well.
What's
Yeah,
how about, yeah, go ahead, Sean. I'm about to say, what's it look like
yeah.
on your side?
It's just the grind. It's planes, trains, and automobiles. Just it comes at you the way it comes at you, and you can come on a level of being picked up at JFK and having a driver there for you, or you could be coming through LaGuardia and you have to get on you got to catch a lift or catch a train to get to your location. But the main thing that you have to do, and I'm gonna keep on saying this, is just be disciplined. Be there. Make sure that you're on time. Make sure that you talk to the promoter like, hey, I just got in town. Hey, there's a little bit of traffic here. I always like to be, I'm never the person who wants to be on time, because if you're on time, in my mind, you're late. So I just try to, like what Brandon was saying, get at the venue an hour early, try to get in a day before if I can, or at least I catch a lot of red eyes so I can at least be in there in the morning, get some rest, be ready. And I'm going to take off of what Brandon said also of, it's a 15, 30 hour long set, but the prep for the set could be 3 months. Just what is my show going to look like? How I'm going to say it. So when Brandon booked me, I'm like, okay, what's the time? How much time am I going to get? What's the audience look like? I go to the websites or the IG pages and look at their crowd so I can know the demographics, and then I start forming my set in that. It's the repetition. I come from a sports type background, so it's me taking 1,000 shots a day with the left and 1,000 shots at night with the right. So it's me going over poem after poem. I might have my son drop a glass because we're in bars and stuff. So when I'm doing a poem, my son might just drop a plastic cup, because those things can happen in the middle of a poem. So you're like, okay, that's what might happen. You can't come out of a poem and be like, what was that? You got to keep going and understand that there's all these scenarios that can happen. So it's a sports mentality discipline of trying to make sure that you're ready. And going back to the tour aspect, you just have to be disciplined. You just have to be ready to be in these cities and then go out. Now, Jay and Brandon talked about, the working out in the hotel and, making sure you're ready that way. I do more mental discipline of, I'm going to read a book. I'm going to go, when I come out here, I'm going to read a new book, or I'm going to get a massage, or I'm going to do yoga at the hotel. So mentally, I'm doing things that I would do at home, because you can sometimes get out of cities and come out of your comfort zone and break that routine of meditation or massages or, reading a book. And I make sure that I still stay in that regimen as well.
Yeah.
Man, you just touched on one of my... Nah, go ahead, Brandon. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, just speaking of staying mentally sane, because if you're on the road, and Jay could talk more about this, is like if you're on the road for a long time, crazy shit can happen. You know what I'm saying? Like mentally with yourself. And it takes me back to y'all remember his name. There was a singer. He was in Paris. This is a long time ago. He was like a one-hit wonder R&B singer, and he was so mentally gone. Nobody knew he was in the hotel. Start poking out his eye live. Y'all remember that?
No.
Yeah.
Remember that, Jay?
Yeah, you talking about the rapper?
He was like a rapper, R&B, like an R&B singer. Like he's like both. Y'all gotta look up this story. It's crazy, man.
So he was so mentally right now.
Yeah, he was on tour, and he was in. I think he was in Paris, and he didn't know. People didn't know that he was that mentally gone on tour. And he was videotaping himself, his own eye.
Was it Houston? Guy named Houston? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. Yeah. Nah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Wow. So mental health piece is.
And I think that's why a lot of celebrities have nervous breakdowns when they're touring. It's demanding. It's physically demanding. It's a lot. You have to be on a crazy level of hyper focus. So this is what it looks like. You catch a flight. We land to Houston. We have Houston, Dallas, San Antonio. Let's say we have Austin. So we do Austin on a Thursday, and we'll do the biggest cities on a Friday and a Saturday. Sunday is another smaller town. And then you're driving. You get the rental. Pack up all your stuff. You setting up. We got 2 projector screens, speakers, sound. All the chairs already done. We do hotels because they get it set up for you. Then we're there at 5:30. Try to take a nap. We're there at 5:30. We're getting everything prepped, done, and then the show starts at 7. We're letting people in at 7:15, and then the show starts immediately right after that once they're seated, and then it's just show. We're just hosting. We're performing. I'm spitting bars. We're doing Q&A. We're having interaction with the audience, and then when we're done, we're selling merch. We're doing customer service. We're putting on his face. You know what I'm saying? After it's all said and done, we're breaking all that equipment down. We're lugging all them boxes, all that equipment back into the van to do that for 3 more days. Same thing. And then you're driving. So we got to get some rest, get up in the morning, repeat that. Twixt 28 more cities.
That's a grind, man. And Sean
Yes.
mentioned preparation. One of my favorite quotes is proper preparation prevents poor performance. And
Yep.
I live by that, man. So I want to put you on the spot, see if you prepared, man. Spit a freestyle for us, man. What you got?
Oh yeah, all right, bet on. Check this out. I do the spoken word really more so for beyond being a reminder. They asked me to do a freestyle here at the Freedom Finders, and that's cool. Lyrically, I'm just spitting, giving you some of my vision. I don't know if half the people might even listen, but you know me, I gotta get it like the back in the hood when they was hustling with red caps. I'm sitting here with the red hat, talking to my people. I like to smoke about a bag a day, a bag of haze. When I like to get in my zone in the hotels, I might read a book or I might watch some anime. You know, um, just spitting could be off topic. Doesn't matter what the topic is. Follow recording, I honor it. I don't dwell on problems. I'm too busy solving it. This type of work don't bring no social media following, no trophies to be polishing. Just the king who rose from the impoverished, from the school of hard knocks with a full scholarship. Graduated from bummy to a lot of drip, from a dummy to learning economic flips. Financial literacy is what we gotta get. Be careful with greed. That pit is bottomless. But who gonna respect the prophet who pockets are profitless? I'm understanding the value of what a dollar gets. So forget a product fit instead of copping it. Invest stock in it. Create a brand, LLC it, push the product in and watch the profit in. My lady, a queen. Respectfully, I call her my bottom. I went in first class into exotic trips, good conversation with a lot of drinks, back shots while I grip her esophagus, cause that's what a goddess get. Wisdom got me respecting the monogamous. My daughter gonna learn that her presence is ominous. It's zero distraction with chasing bags as big as hippopotamus. Rub elbows with silent millionaires who move anonymous, with humble and ambition is synonymous.
Man.
Yo,
Hey, drop them bombs, bro. Go ahead and
Hey,
drop
hey,
them bombs.
he got the.
I feel like Sway in the morning right now, man.
Yeah. You gotta do the pew, 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 pew.
Hey,
Crazy.
brother. Hey, that boy was ready, wasn't he? That boy.
Man.
I feel like we got to keep.
Preparation, you had a
Yeah, ready. Talk about proper preparation. He said, "Oh, right now,
Yeah.
I bet he got."
He said,
Say
well,
less.
cute. Yeah. Sean and Brandon, y'all coming up too. We gonna call y'all out.
Hey, man.
Freestyles in the pocket.
Hey, I love that. I love that. Hey, you got me so hype. I was ready to go. We'll space about that. Y'all stay tuned, man. We got some
We
more
can't
coming.
burn the whole track up in one area, man.
I do want to move from the touring piece to the brand equity piece, because Jay, you just dropped some brand equity on here that anybody listen to this, they'd be like, oh, he for real. Like, oh, we need to go sign him right now because he got bars for real, right? But like that brand equity piece, what does that look like for y'all? Whether it be social media, what y'all doing, what y'all writing about, what books y'all writing. I want to talk a little bit about. We got a couple of authors on here as well. What does brand equity mean to y'all?
You could.
Yeah, I go first. So for me, the company that we have is called Encore ATX here in Austin. So, we pride ourselves on putting together quality events. You know how it is. You go to a Black folk event and it be raggedy, don't start on time, service is not good, the hosts don't know what they're doing. You know what I mean? It's not well promoted. There's so many different facets. So first thing we do is we get quality graphic design, right? Don't skimp on your graphic design when it comes to your business, right? Make sure you have quality presentation of that. Then we're consistent with our marketing and promotion. Can't be afraid to spend money on your business. You got to reinvest. So we be jumping, but I still buy Facebook and Instagram ads. I still pay for my email marketing, constant contact, so you gotta make sure that you are marketing and promoting. Even when it gets good, you still keep that same energy and still be hungry. So that's one thing. Like I said, you got 11,000 Austin followers. We have 10,000 Facebook followers that are from Austin area, but I'm still looking for new people. Like, yo, I got flyers in the car sitting in my little dashboard. Like, yo, I meet somebody at the grocery store. Yo, we do these events. Welcome to Austin, So, and a lot of new people are moving here. So you got to be consistent with that. And then when you're there at the events, for me, I'm treating my customers how I would want to be treated, right? I'm not ignoring them if they're having a problem with the bar, or, for my poets that want to get on stage, I try to make time. I sacrifice myself my performances so that other people can perform. So it's not realizing that it's not about you, it's about the people that you're bringing in, and making sure they feel well, like having a good feeling when they leave. So that's big for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, I can definitely attest to that firsthand, man. I used to live in Austin. That's actually how Brandon and I met. And when I first got to Austin, it's about 2020, early 2017. It's like it wasn't a lot to do for the black community. Then all of a sudden, man, I heard about this Encore stuff going on. And so there's a little spot right up the place where I used to stay called Hanover's. Matter of fact, no, the first one I went to was at the Speakeasy. At the Speakeasy, I think it
Mm-hmm.
was downtown. So it was
Yep.
this spot called Speakeasy, man. I said, let's go check this out. We went down there. It was a dope event, man. It had a bunch of spoken word artists. I believe you had some musical artists, man, and it was just a vibe the whole time. I was like, man, this what the city need. I hope they keep this going. Next thing you know, Brandon stayed consistent. Each of his events started on time. All of his events were, well managed, very professional, and it really set the tone for the Austin experience. Like I brought some friends in. Matter of fact, you end up knowing Kennedy as well, and they came
Man,
out and
yeah.
was like, man, it was like I can come back to Austin and kick it all the time just because the experience was so well put on. So that brand equity that they have in Encore now, Encore can go anywhere in the country and like, okay, I know that name, and I'm going to have a good experience and a good time. So Brandon definitely lived. He embodied that brand equity piece.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I remember Shaq, he actually came on New Year's Eve, and
Yeah,
him and his lady at the time, they didn't have a spot to sit. They came in and was like, yo, it's New Year's Eve. They was dressed up, suited and booted, and they came in and they ain't had no place to sit. I was like, yo, I got you. I walked them over, got them a VIP seat, make sure they was taken care of. And that's just saying that, like, not treating people like, oh, you didn't buy nothing in advance. I don't care. Like, go stand up, you know? Like, I found him a spot for him to sit. So just doing those little things, I think, makes a big difference for sure.
straight up, straight up. But Buddy looked out, man. And this is so I got to share this little story. I don't want to hijack the show, man. But it was 1 year before they had the New Year's Eve party, and this might have been your first one. And we was able to walk up, get a little section at the time. So I'm thinking next year it'll be more of the same. Like that's just a testament to how much Encore grew in that 365 days. We came back the next year. Nah, ain't no more sections, bro. Like Brandon looked out. He was the homie, but it's like, nah, we booked out. So just as a testament to how he was able to grow that brand in that amount of time was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just to double down on that with the growing piece, because you mentioned it, it's the piece that the people grow. Is consistency the number one thing that you put all your growth in Encore to, or is there something else that was bigger than consistency? Oh, we still here? Mic check 1 2. All right, I think we back. Y'all can hear me now? All right, mic check 1 2. Can y'all hear
It's
now?
choppy.
We gonna push through it, fellas.
There we
push.
go. You back now.
Okay, we back. Okay, we gonna push through. Hey, you know me. It be like that sometimes. But yeah, let me get back to the question. So we talked about the growth of Encore, right? Over 1 year's time. And I seen y'all shake your head when I mentioned consistency of being the top thing. Is consistency number one, or what is kind of your top three things of how you got that much growth on Encore for Brandon?
Yeah. So top three, consistency is definitely number one, because even if you have a bad event, I've taken L's. I've taken multi-$1,000 L's trying to book an artist. Not really so much on events, like actual events, but trying to book artists and learning my lesson from that. So you got to stay consistent even through the hard times. I'll say the second thing is like valuing quality over quantity. I've learned that before. I used to try to have like a bunch of events and try to do things like, okay, sometimes the less you do, the more you can make. So if it's consistent and it's quality, and you're not overdoing yourself, but and you're keeping it a quality, whatever it is. And I'm trying to say this more general, because I want anybody listening who has a small business to say, whatever I'm doing, I got to be the best. And then the third thing is you have to love what you do. You have to be passionate. People can tell that I'm passionate about putting together events, or I'm passionate about spoken word, and that passion comes off in a way where it's authentic, it's not. I'm not just doing. I'm not just some party promoter just trying to make a quick buck. Like I love what I do. I'm gonna have integrity in what I do, and I'm gonna be the best. I'm gonna put together. I'm gonna bring the best poets. I'm gonna have, like I said, the best promotion. Because another thing that's important is you can have a dope idea, but if nobody's there to enjoy it, it's gonna fall flat, right? So if you're not investing in your marketing and promotion and bringing people to whatever it is you do, it don't matter if you're the best at it because ain't nobody gonna enjoy it. And people don't like that feeling. For me, for events, people don't like that feeling of being in a half empty room. They like it when it's packed, right? It's crazy how many times people say, "Man, you're doing such a good job marketing and promoting, not even just the event." Because people, they'll come back, and there's so many new faces that come to our events. So quality, consistency, and being passionate, loving what you do, and that'll just effervescence over the whole situation, and people will feel that.
Yes, sir. Love that. Love that. I want to transition a little bit and move over to you, Sean, a little bit more. Because I know a lot of brothers like to be humble about what they doing. But I read the bio, brother. So, like, I'll just throw a couple things out there if you don't mind. Because you're doing your thing. So I want to let the people know in the Freedom Finder family know that, these brothers ain't up here I'm just trying to make it on the side. Nah, like they are building the brand to where they're going to be nationally known of what they're doing, or internationally known of what they're doing. Shaq always hoping to the international. We ain't national, we international. But with Sean, I mean, I see here on your bio, I mean, you didn't work with Jill Scott. You done been at the ESPYs, the Radio City Music Hall, the Apollo. You've also done some stuff with Steve Harvey, Shannon Sharp, in the Shade Room. You've written 2 books. One actually going to be coming out a little later. Just wanted to throw all that out there a little bit because I want to throw you on the spot now, brother. I know y'all got some bars. Can you let the people know, first and foremost, before we get into the bars, how did you even get your brand of Sean William, of who you are, to that level of, on that stage, I would say? How did you get to that stage? Probably a lot of marketing, consistency, but what did that look like for you, Sean?
Just a lot of hard work and just paying attention what the marketplace is going on. So I would do a lot of studying. So I'm a teacher and a student when it comes to spoken word. I'm a savant. I want to make sure that I'm putting out the best product that I can. So the way to do that is I watch myself. I'm watching myself like an athlete. I'd watch hundreds of hours of film. Like, I didn't like that placement of my hand. I could have said that. I could have enunciated more off of how I said this word. From there, I started coming around people, as spoken word artists or any type of artist, you have people who say, like, you're dope, you're the greatest thing ever. I tried to find myself a team of honesty, not people who would hate on me and not people who would be my yes men or yes women, but people who would be like, you know what? Were you having a bad day? You should drink more water. The placement on words. I have no problem with people editing. I'm with a great team, this group of brothers called Fiveology. It's myself, Dr. Javon Johnson, Rudy Francisco, who people really need to know. He was just doing poetry on The Bachelor, Prentice Powell, and Andrew Tyree. These are brothers who I can send a poem to and honestly say who have done it on big stages.
Uh-oh. I think we may have lost Sean. Y'all brothers getting me?
No.
Oh man,
He's in the sunken place.
He said he said he's on that on the hotel Wi-Fi. Let me see. Let me try to get him up off here so he ain't stuck like that. But yeah, let's go to the same question. Let's keep this thing rolling while we good. But for you, Jay, like what is that? Not preparation, but what does that look like? I know we talked a lot of consistency. We talked a lot of that good stuff. But what does that look like on your end? When it comes to getting forward? Is it a lot of consistency? Is it a lot of marketing? What do you kind of lean on, Jay?
It really encompasses on all of it. I think my top 3 would be, of course, consistency. It'll be determination and flexibility. You know what I'm saying? Because the unpredictable will always happen. We were in Miami. We had to drive all the way to Tampa, and they lost our keys, the valet. We have to be at this show. We got to set up. We got to get ready. So we got, we're stressed. We're sitting there, but it ain't too much you could do about it. You just got to wait, be patient. We got in the car. We quiet. I'm doing 90 all the way up there. And then we set up. We're setting up while they're walking into the door, and the show started on time. People have dropped on us during shows. Comedians have told us they can't make it right before we open the doors. you got to learn to be flexible, have that flexibility, understand that things will occur that's gonna be out of your control. And you got to keep it pushing and I think that comes with knowing production, knowing to, being in that space all the time and working. And then of course the branding is everything. Like we as poets and artists are the brand. We are walking advertisement. So when I'm walking, I'm talking, I'm performing, everything I do is an advertisement. But there's there's budgets that goes into social media advertisement, into graphic design, into deposits for places, for artists. You gotta already have that done. And this is already a year calendar. So April we're doing this. This is discussion in January. April we're doing this. All fall we're touring here. And then, then we'll do this program here, and then we'll do this big summit on this month. It has to be cookie cutter to that point, and consistency brings that, because you'll do it so often and so much, you already know what you're planning out. At this point, you're just filling in the outline.
Yeah.
That's real. He just gave y'all the gems to the game right there. If you got any artists out here, you better get on that calendar. Straight up, you better get on that calendar and book yourself out. And I mean, shoot, I'm already talking to myself, because I'm a speaker myself, and getting booked and going places. Right. I want to ask as a speaker, a lot of things I speak about, and a lot of freedom, with the Freedom Finders, and I speak a lot about the mind and paradigm shifts, and really just being happy. Like at the end of the day, talk about dream life, being happy. But for me, like, that's my brand equity of who I am and what I talk about. Like, I keep my brand around that, building my brand equity around, Devin is going to help you find freedom. Devin's going to help you go from a job and transition actually into a career. So now you're having more fulfillment. Now you can actually enjoy your life. Now you ain't just trying to make all the money. You're actually having a fulfilling life each and every day, and you're enjoying it, right? Like, that's my brand equity. And a lot of things I speak about, it's the same speech over and over and over. I may do it once. Second time I do it is even better. The fourth time I do it, it's super dope. Yep. The 18th time I do it, people coming up to me talking about, hey, bro, you changed my life. And I'm like, for real? Like, word? So, like, I wanted to ask y'all, is that the same when it comes to more of the, poetry? Because I imagine y'all probably got so many poems that you probably just keep on writing and put them out. Or do you keep your top 3 that you just drop at the end? What does that look like when it comes to poetry?
Yeah. So you definitely have we call them, your crowd favorites or your signature pieces. And what you were saying about, like, the 18th time you do it, like, it's dope. Like, for us, the poems become a part of us in a way where we could be spitting a poem and the crowd will say something. You can stop, interact with the crowd, and then go right back into the poem. And they like, how was he able to go? How did he stop and go right back into it? So, like, you definitely find a bag of poetry. Like, I'm in my bag, right? So you got your bag pieces, but you can't be afraid to also implement new pieces, because that shows growth. That shows that I'm still able to write. The poets are the most critical of themselves most of the time. So sometimes, if you have signature pieces, it can be hard to say, yo, I'm gonna get this new piece in, but that you got to find space to try new material as well. So I want to hear what Jay, what's that like for you?
Oh man, it's having them on deck, being ready. Like, having situational poems. Like, I'll have poems that are less than a minute in case I'm in a street corner and we just pop off on a cipher. I got that ready. That's in the trunk. And then I've got signature pieces that I know are crowd favorites, like the social media piece. It's universal. It works. It's informative. It's relatable. Everybody can understand it. It's it doesn't adhere to one-dimensional thinking. And then, I have my erotics. I've got those. I want to sell some product. There's a lot of ladies in the room. You play the room. So I'll shift. I'll have 5 poems ready for this event. Next week, I'm doing something for 8th graders. Well, I can't do those 5 poems. So now I've got 5 other poems, a whole different set I need to do. I got a church event that they hired me for. So guess what? Okay, we're going to get into my spiritual bag, and I'll get those poems, put them back into memory. It just takes a few days of some practice in the house, literally being in front of the mirror. And then you just have your sets ready.
Yeah, I love that. And welcome back, Sean. Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you.
It's
not the first time I've gotten kicked out of someplace, so I always get back.
We missed you, bro.
Yeah, love that. Now, we just talking, Sean, a little bit about as I'm a speaker, so like typically speakers, we typically have a one keynote speech, and then we have a couple other ones for different scenarios. What does that look like for you, Sean? Do you have like your showstopper that you're going to drop the mic at the end, you do over and over and over again, and how often are you making new content?
I'm forever writing. Before I'm a spoken word artist or anything, I'm a writer. So what I try to have different showstoppers, but the best way to know what your showstopper is, because some people are like, okay, this is going to be my signature piece that I do at every event, and that's how I'm going to end it. I look at what the event is. It could have been, I thought my showstopper was my third poem or my fourth poem, and I just switch it and say, okay, this is going to be my last one. I really study the audience before, during, and even after the show. I have a Excel spreadsheet where I grade myself. I grade the venue. I go through all these things. So I just look at how the audience is, and I create my set on that. And then, then I hit them with the showstopper. And sometimes the audience tells you what your showstopper is. You might think the poem that I had is my showstopper, and people are like, that one poem that you did, and you're like, oh, batteries? No, that other poem. And you're like, oh, I guess that's a showstopper in Austin, so let me make sure that I bring that one next time.
Mm-hmm. And I love that because the thing people mess up on, they don't put it in the marketplace. Like they take it and they say this is gonna be the best, what I know, but it doesn't matter about what you think is the best. What is your audience? What is the marketplace telling you is the best? So you got to get out and test stuff. So Brandon talking about running ads, like how you know if an ad work or not? Test it. You got to go launch it.
I also want to say this because I know when I got kicked out, one thing I learned when I was on tour with Jill Scott, and if you ever seen Jill Scott, she's amazing on tour. If she does, I love you, or I want you, or these songs, she'll flip it up. One day she might do it in an R&B way. The next day, like let's say she was in San Antonio, then the next time she goes to Dallas or Austin, she'll sing "He Loves Me" in an opera voice. Like she'll go opera with "He Loves Me." The next time she'll go in a jazz type of tune. So she flips up her style so she can make it fresh for each one. So you're like, oh, I saw her in San Antonio, but the entire set was different. I try to do the same thing with poems. So if you might see a poem one way, I'll flip it up and do it in another way, much faster, slower, not animated. Yep. Animated, it just depends to give that fresh feel and challenge myself.
Hey, shout out to Jill Scott. I went to a Jill Scott show. Definitely top 3 shows I've ever been to. She is an amazing performer, amazing artist. And since we let you back in the club, Sean, go ahead and drop your freestyle for us, bro.
I come from the part of Oakland where the gentrified is still afraid to occupy. And the streets aren't mad that the Warriors left because Clay and Steph aren't the only dangerous shooters from the outside. Where kids learn in class to write their wills at 12 and a half because the life expectancy of a young black boy in East Oakland is 25. We call them Trayvons because our boys die in the hood. That's a double entendre that might have went over some people's heads like asbestos in the ceilings in the hood. Nowadays, these kids can't lean on pops because they be high off of promethazine mixed in pop. So when streets get it popping, pop's out there nodding. That's how you lose pop to pop.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Bro, we need some more bombs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, y'all brothers, man.
Boy, I want to say run that back one time. Like that was crazy.
There's more to it.
y'all brothers, man. Hey, I just want to take a quick intermediate pit stop. If y'all want to see some black excellence, man, this is what black excellence looks like, man. This talking about the preparation. They not just the preparation, ready to go. It's like, oh, it's my turn, bet, I'm ready. Like the preparation and men making sure that you ready to go and everything that y'all brothers doing, man. I just want to show y'all some love, man. So, man, shout out to y'all brothers, cause
thank you.
Y'all brothers, y'all I'm saying? Y'all, I ain't gonna lie, but y'all can't all depress me because I'm just like, y'all brothers is on y'all P's and Q's. And I love that. And we need more black men like y'all as well. So appreciate y'all giving back. We're gonna talk about a little giving back as well. But I did want to ask you, Sean, as we ran through the portfolio and the people you worked with already, and a lot of, some heavy hitters on there, like one person and an artist trying to come up, how does one kind of put themselves in that place to where they have the opportunity to be working with some of these heavy hitters?
You got to get out your head. So believe in yourself, know yourself, and just go to the limit, past the limit of what you can do. There are internal customers and external customers. This is what I've learned in business. So not only let's use Brandon example. Now he makes sure that he's talking to the person who's buying the tables, getting the tables and whatever, and he's walking them to the tables. I've also seen how Brandon works with his internal customers, meaning the people who work on his staff, his team. He makes sure that he's really nice to them as well. Because people look at that. If you're cool to the person who's spending money, but you're not cool to the person who's helped making you get money, then they'll leave because they don't believe in it. Nobody's going to have the passion like Brandon has. So he has to make sure that he's cool to the people who work for them as well. And I see how they look at him. That's how I look at it. Brandon's also like he's an external customer and an internal customer to me. So I make sure that I'm cool. I work well with my team. I believe in myself. So what I would tell individuals who want to go down my path, you can't go down my path. You can create your own, but you can learn from my path. You can take certain things and see what's going on, but your direction where you want to go might be way further down the road than I can think of. So know yourself, believe in yourself, and stay true to yourself, and you can be the best yourself that you can be. And maybe somebody like me be like, damn, I couldn't got on that show. I appreciate it. And maybe you're not opening it up for Jill Scott. Jill Scott's opening up for you. You have to look at it that way.
Man, hey, big bars, heavy bars, man. So a question that's been burning on my mind, man, is all you guys came from areas that are I would consider inner city. I would consider, rougher upbringings. You got Newark, New Jersey. I mean, looks like we lost Sean again. You got Oakland. And then looks like you got your start in St. Louis. Is that right, Brandon?
Yeah, St. Louis, yeah.
St. Louis. Okay, so you got St. Louis, Oakland, and Jersey. And when you think about that, you think about the black male in those arenas, you're not thinking about poetry in the sense of spoken word. You're thinking about guys who want to rap. So what made you go the lane of spoken word poetry as opposed to rapping over a beat like, so many of us want to do when we in high school, riding in the, packed out in the Buick, in the Cutlass, you know what I'm saying, going in the cypher around. Like, so what made y'all go the spoken word lane as opposed to rappers? Or maybe y'all do both, I don't know.
When I was in like a senior year of high school and freshman year in college, I was battle rapping people, like, on the streets, and it was getting me some name and notoriety because I was pretty good at it. And then when I'm my freshman year in college, I saw open mic for the first time, and I saw this young lady spitting. She was from Jersey, and I was like, oh, this is fire. Like, the vibe was cool, grassroots, real vocal, real, you know what I'm saying, real chill. And then I wrote for it. So I was like, I'm going to write for that. And then I would keep writing for open mics, and then people was coming at me, hiring me. Like, yo, can you do it here? Can you do this? Can you do that? How much do you charge? Da, 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 da. And it just was a snowball effect. And then I just kept staying in poetry and spoken word. So really spoken word found me. It developed me. And then I got more into just saying, yo, I'm liking it. I'm loving it. And I started finding my purpose with it. And then it just built on from there. So it was really more so it fell on my lap. And I just had to keep cultivating it.
Yeah. One thing I speak on Jay because like I remember the first time I heard Jay, I was like, this man, like his style, as you can see, sounds like a battle rapper, right? It's not your typical poetry style because unfortunately poetry nowadays has a similar tone. It's from slam poetry, and the fellas can attest to like every poet now almost sounds the same. Not everywhere, but it's like a ubiquitous sound that's unfortunately permeating. Like people are not finding their own style. So the first time I heard Jay, man, it was crazy. Like I was like, I've never heard anybody spit the way he did. So I think for me, spoken word it's a mixture of hip hop. It's a mixture of, writing. So like we're akin to hip hop artists, but we're actually closer to comedians because all we have is a mic and our voice. Right. And we got to be able to keep that crowd's attention. So a good spoken word artist has a bit of, a flow and a cadence, but they also have to have stage presence with what they do. Like if you don't have no stage presence, nobody gonna listen to you, to what you're saying. You got to have charisma on the mic. Right. That's what I was saying. You got to know your pieces so well you can stop and talk to the crowd and go back into it. So, I think finding your own voice and building that stage presence. Another thing I'm going to tell people out there, for especially inspiring poets, you got a good thing to do as a poet is host your own show, right? if you've never hosted an open mic, host an open mic because you can learn so much. You can get stage time without having to always do poetry. You can learn how to organize and manage events and shows. So I always challenge a poet that wants to get into it, host your own open mic at least for a year to see what that feels like.
That's big. And what about you, Sean? You ever been a rapper as well, or it sounds like it all started with writing for you to get into the spoken word?
No, I came out as a rapper, but I just want to say, like, I put Oakland on my back. Like, it's in my heart, it's on my sleeve, everything. But I feel with me doing that, I can also talk about the ills of Oakland. There are a lot of spitters out there in Oakland, but unfortunately, the ones that are going to the top, and these are individuals that I broke bread with, giving me opportunities. The ones that are at the top of Oakland, if you pay attention to the hip hop scene, are the ones who don't have the bars. And so when the ones who don't have the so-called bars, the shorts, the 40, things like that, then it comes down to so many people who want to follow because they're the ones with the record deals. They're the ones with the cars and the chicks and all that. And so you have the individuals who don't pay attention to the spitters. But the Souls of Mischief, they're from Oakland. 93 to Infinity was real. And there were a bunch of spitters in there. Souls of Mischief was on Midnight Marauders. They were on the cover. Their faces were on there, which means only spitters were on that cover. They're respected across the world. There are other spitters out there. But unfortunately, all we want to talk about in our area is the pimps, because that's big in Oakland. The drug life, crack cocaine came from Oakland. So you get those types of flows. Where I'm more of, my favorite rappers are Pharoah Monch, Raz Kaz, Rakim, like those individuals, Fonte. Like, I'm into the people who read. I know they read books. I know they research their rhymes. We not cat hatting it over here. So I came from that type of complex rhyme schemes to going into these arenas where everybody's freestyling cat, hat, rap, bat. And I'm like, yeah, this isn't for me. So then I was going into spoken word spots. And the first time I saw a spoken word artist, he was from Jersey named Talam AC. And I'm like, oh, we can do that?
That's my dog.
We can do that on mics? I got it. So I watched him, went home, just got myself together, made sure that I memorized some poems, and I'll come back to these open mics. And that's what it's been. I'm all about putting bars together, putting words together. You know, sometimes I'll do some of us poets, we have hooks. We have metaphors. We have hooks. We have all kinds of stuff in the poems, and we're just sprinkling them in there. We're doing stuff way better than rappers. So that's me right there.
Nah, that's dope. I gotta hold on real quick, man. I gotta ask you, man. I make sure I heard him right, man. So I know Too Short ain't got bars, but you really said E40 ain't got bars?
E40 has bars, but E40 had bars in the earlier time when we're talking Quicks and Dusted and Disgusted. Now it's just like he knows he can get over with some of the things that he says. So yes, he has language. I mean, the Bay Area is
like, man, hold on. You said 40 ain't got bars?
Nah, but not like he used to. And he knows he's getting a little lazy with stuff. But Short, who I love, like, you can't tell me shit about Short, but we got to be honest.
Yeah, we are. Short ain't coming with no bars.
Right. You've never said, rewind that. You've never said that with me.
Short gives you the simple formatted bars. You know what I'm saying? They hit different.
Yeah. And he even said, I don't do freestyles, I get paid. Like, that's what he'll say. Like, I do paid styles. So,
yeah. One thing I'm going to say about all of us, people come up to us after the show and have said, I don't like poetry, but I like what you did. How many times have y'all heard that, fellas? I've heard that so many times. So, like, I would say everybody on this panel is like, has their own style, and like people gravitate towards our spoken word because it's authentic, it's real, and it's creative. Like he's talking about the metaphors. Like there's time, you can tell when somebody's putting work into the craft versus just E40 in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I love what we talking about because I wanted to go there as well. Because man, it's really sad because I think you said it, Sean, talking about I do paid bars, right? And it's like it's a fine line between like, hey, am I doing this to get paid? Because like, hey, this is the marketplace, this is what they want. Like I got to get them versus getting outside of yourself, and getting outside of your own brand equity just to go make some money, because that's what a lot of them doing. I mean, you got to see these rappers nowadays, and we ain't got to talk about it. Y'all know. It's just like, but it's so sad because there's people out here that really got the bars, but they never get to shine. So like, is there any movement moving towards the real spitters that really actually got bars, in order to accelerate them? Is there anything going on right now in the marketplace that can help them more than just getting out there trying to get a dollar?
I'll speak on that. I think one of the things that you have to learn is from the people who so-called don't have bar spitters, or the individuals who used to, who I feel E40's kind of regressed a little, their independent hustle is immaculate. And matter of fact, Short is one of the forefounders of getting it out of the trunk and putting it out there and getting it out to the people. So if you're a bar spitter and your business isn't right, or you're not professional showing up to events, or you're not ready, you're drunk at interviews and things like that, because a lot of bar spitters aren't great business people. So if you're just all about your bars and whatever, and you don't have a team around that you get you there on time or whatever, let's look at some of the dopest bar spitters. Slaughterhouse, they didn't handle business correctly. And if they would have handled business a little bit correctly and have been a team, who knows, they might have been on some higher level, but they were just more focused on their bars. And so we got.
Oh man, we lost my man again.
He's in the sunken place.
My man got that hotel Wi-Fi, man. He got the
man.
And I know Jay actually has a meeting here. He's got to leave soon. So you want to say a few last words, Jay, before you get out of here?
Yeah, just to touch on what he was saying, since he's kind of booted out, I would say, that he's right. Like, why isn't Sci-Hi the Prince a Big Crit at a J. Cole, Kendrick, level, or why they're not seen so often and heard, and these are all positive hip hop spitters. Like, if you go listen to Sayari the Kid's new album, I don't understand how it's not getting album of the year, but it gets no push or promotion. You've heard it? It's a Shadow of the Shade. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's insane. If you like lyricism with jazzy beats, it's gold hip hop. It's hip hop in 2022. And there's a lot of them like that, but they don't get the push. They don't get the visuals. They don't get the advertisement, the promotion. But there's a market, and a lot of people have it cornered. And then, but my last thing to say before I head up out of here, man, I appreciate y'all Freedom Finders for the opportunity and for everything we're talking about, man. Genuine. I'm gonna, just be doing this spoken word and just keep in touch.
Appreciate you coming on, bro.
Yeah, Jay, where I about to say, where can they find you more about you, Jay, before you get up out of here?
So I'm on all social media platforms at Jay Martinez the Poet, JayMartinez the Poet, THEPOET. On all social medias, IG and everything. And then look up Metaphorically Speaking Dayton. Dayton. That's our art company collective, and we do stage plays and school programs through that umbrella corporation there.
I was about to ask you about that.
Let's work.
Man. I went to school in Dayton, Ohio, and I knew about Metaphorically Speaking, man. I don't know if you knew Gerard. I forget his last name, but Gerard, he used to host some shows at the spot called Delish. He used to have some. I had events at Delish, right?
That was my spot. I hosted that. I hosted that for like 2 years.
So,
yeah.
Okay. So I went to school at UD, man. So I know all about Delish, man. Metaphorically Speaking, I don't know if you know Quinn Townsend Riley. She used to do spoken word as well. So I know some folks who
KW. She was in the she was in the part of a couple of our stage plays. Yep, Quinn.
Chicago. So man, it's crazy how small this world, man, and how much we connected, man. That's dope.
That's
man.
Wow.
I found out I went to Shaq's house before I knew Shaq in Austin. You know what I mean? I didn't even really. We went to UD at the same time. We was all there all at the same time.
Yo, these are alignments we can't explain.
You can't, man. Kennedy came down and was like, because Brent had came to one of my parties that I threw in college, man, and we didn't know each other. So a couple years ago, Kennedy, our boy Kennedy came down and was like, yeah, you was there at Shaq party. I was like, he was there, and we just happened to meet each other in Austin on, just on a random tip, man. This is just crazy.
Yeah.
Small world.
Cool.
But hey,
But
definitely appreciate you,
Jay.
Jay. Definitely appreciate you. Make sure y'all go follow Jay, man. Man, definitely got the bars, man. We definitely gonna follow up, man. Shout out to you, brother.
All right. Peace and blessings.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
All right. Cool.
We still got to get that freestyle from B. You know
we do need. I know we get to the top of the hour. We'll pass the top of the hour, but yeah, shoot. Let's go ahead and transition right into it, babe. Brandon, you ready? I know y'all stay ready.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right,
I don't go ham. I go vegan. I don't go ham, like the Jay-Z, go ham. I go vegan. Ham is haters always mad. Ham is hindsight, a motherfucker. Ham is high and mighty, hinder, able minds, honest, ain't always many, but vegan is vibrating energy, gratitude, alchemy, namaste. Vegan is vigorously embracing God's anointing. Now I be maintaining, doing what I do every day, pinky and the brainstorming, positive thought thinking, vision boarding, affirming affirmations, naysayer avoiding. You can't gaslight or gas me up. I'm Tesla riding, poetry spitting, bill collector, dodging, manifesto writing, daughter missing, on mission, fighting for the future. One side wants to be an artist, the other wants to be a corporate Detroit Piston, Sonny Liston, versus Muhammad Ali. I'm just getting by, Talib Kweli. I tell fellas, enjoy women for quality, not quantity. I learned that from my mother. I still call her mommy. R.I.P. Grandma Foley. I know she see me in the sky. I'm Southwest flight booking. I want to see you win, assist in reaching your dreams. Call me John Stockton. And it goes on from there.
Yes, sir.
Man.
I'm just probably gonna laugh till you don't hit that bomb drop. Hey, y'all. Hey, I ain't even been no spoken word, man. I can't wait. I'm supposed to snap, right? That's what you supposed to do out there.
Yeah.
Y'all put me on, gay. I over know. But hey, now I see what you're saying though, Brandon. Because like again, I'm a brother. It's not that I don't like it. I just ain't never been to one. Same thing that y'all did. Y'all done got out there. It's like, oh, y'all could. This what we could do. This is what I'm about to do. So y'all got me hyped about learning a little bit more about that marketplace, brother. But man, y'all definitely got some. Yeah.
And I want to feel like a new form of spoken word is podcasting as well too, because there's a certain flow and cadence and rhythm you gotta have. Like I'm listening to you, Scott. I'm listening to you talk, Devin, and I'm like, I can listen to this brother. Like I want to know more about your programs that you have. Like how are you helping people in their careers? Because it seems like when you open up that ability to speak and you're able to articulate, I always told people, like, sometimes when I'm on stage, I don't know where what I'm saying comes from, but it's like you open up yourself to be able to receive messages and share those with people. You know what I mean? So you are a spoken word artist as well too.
Hey, I appreciate that, brother. Can I get myself some snacks? I appreciate that, brother.
Give yourself some bombs, man. You on your way.
I get my own bomb. All right, I give myself a bomb. I appreciate you, Shaq. That Shaq came from bomb came from Shaq. But now, you 100% right, and I feel what you're saying because, I mean, it's all speaking, right? So I call it. I ain't gonna go through the whole spiel, but speaking is the level 3 of the highest paid you can possibly get. Not highest paid, but the highest value. Imagination is actually the highest, which that's where a lot of your brothers coming from. It starts there with imagination, but then you have to effectively communicate it. But we're not taught communication or imagination. We're only taught the first 2 pillars of working with our hands. And then going from working with our hands, implementation, going to the next level of actually managing other people to make sure they're implementing correctly. We only taught the first 2 stages. Stage number, where you really level up to the next level, is the communication of actually speaking and then imagination. So that's a level 3 and level 4 that I teach people to get to. So you're right, brother. So I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it. I had to hand me a mic, man. Y'all got to be excited. I want to write some bars now after the show. I want to write something down. But now I love what y'all brothers talking about. But before we get out of here, man, I definitely appreciate y'all extra time, man. Is there anything else heavy in your hearts that y'all want to talk about? I know we're really big on giving back and making sure the the brothers and the sisters after us are doing well as well. But is there anything else on your hearts, whether it be giving back to community or anything else that y'all want to speak on today?
I'll take on that. I would like to speak on Black men's mental health. I don't want that just a wave. I want that as a standard of what we're always talking about. Being a Black man in America, being a man of color in America, you really go through a lot of stuff. And there's not a lot of safe spaces. There's not a lot of safe spaces between, like, with you and your woman at times, you and your mother, because we're always told, be a man, take it, don't cry, stop acting like a chick, all these things where it's like, you know what, the strongest thing that I can be is vulnerable. And I need safe spaces for that. So I don't want to just have safe spaces on a microphone. I want safe spaces in my home, where I work, where I go, like out in the barbershop. We need these spaces, and we need to see our youth being able to see that, you know what, that's not a sucker. You're not lame for feeling that way. Or yes, you can love a woman and be with one woman, and that's a cool thing to do. And selling dope, if there's a means to an end, get to that end before you're in these means. There's all these types of things, and I think that mental health is really important. Like I said, meditation, yoga, it's cool to do that. Reading books, taking spa days, men can do that, or retreats. Let's do those types of things so we can be in these better shape, because we've come through so much ugly, and we need to get out of that mentally. We're always like, I got to keep it moving, I got to get it going, and all this other thing. But it's okay to say, you know what, I'm not okay, and we need safe spaces for that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
man. I felt that. Yeah,
you dropped the mic on that one.
Man. So for me, I want to talk about financial health. That's what I want to talk about. So I actually have a credit card poem that I do, and I wrote it specifically for college students. But I want people to be financially healthy, because I feel like that piece can add so many other dramas in people's lives, right? And first of all, it's how you speak, right? If you speak negatively about your finances, that's what's going to come to fruition. So you always got to talk in abundance, in expectation of great things to happen. You talk about imagination being the highest. You have to imagine yourself with whatever whatever you envision. It has to start in your mind first before it materializes in the real world. I also want to encourage people to be homeowners. That has been a big thing for me that's changed my life. I had never thought, like, I'm gonna buy a house. Like, I never wanted those hassles of being a homeowner. But me buying my first house, it was like a 4-bedroom. Here in Texas, you can get like crazy, houses. They're not so much cheap anymore. We can talk about that, like how the market's changed. But for me, owning my first house, there's so much pride that goes in when you have something that's your own. You look at it, you take care of it differently, and then financially, what it brings. Like, I sold my first house, I had $36,000 in equity. I'm like, damn, like, this is how people are creating generational wealth. I took that money, I financed my second home with that money. And when I bought that, it was right before the prices went up in 2020. So the prices here in Austin have increased $200,000 to $300,000. Like, it's crazy how much the housing prices have increased. And I literally bought, when I signed my mortgage, that day I had $100,000 in equity, because the price of, they were selling my same unit for $100,000 more, and now it's above 200,000. So I want more of us, whether you're single, whether you're in a relationship, to be homeowners, because I think that's the first way to build wealth. And it's not too late to do it, right? Prices are higher, interest rates are higher, but what's going to happen down the road is so much worth the extra price that you're going to pay. And then lastly, I would say, I'm not big on having a budget. I don't have a budget. I feel like I'm not spending frivolously, but at the same time, like, I'm not counting every penny. But I feel like having goals in mind every month of what you want to do with your money. And maybe you guys can talk more about that, like what kind of, strategies you guys use in yours. But, I want to see people understand finances better, become homeowners, and think about goals with their money, monthly, short-term, long-term. goals that you want to see financially for yourself?
Man, I love hearing that from both of you brothers, man, because that we're building it. Well, we have a youth curriculum that we're going to start implementing in schools, and two of the things y'all just mentioned are literally two of our six pillars: mental health and financial health. So, it's just good to get that reinforcement from around and knowing that other people are picking up this mantle too and amplifying this message, man. So that's dope, man. Just mental health and financial health. I love it.
I would like to also add on with Brandon. I don't when I go out of town a lot and do a lot of tours or spot shows, I don't hang out afterwards. I'm back to the hotel or where I'm at so I can get my mental peace. But I will say, hanging with Brandon, we weren't talking about poetry because that's all I do. So I don't want to talk about poetry after a poetry event or before it. We were talking about Roth IRAs. We were talking about Bitcoin. We were talking about 401ks. We were talking about CDs and those types of things. And I want to have those types of conversations so I can be better, so I can think outside of the box and say, I never thought about it that way. I want to talk about equity. I want to talk about credit scores. I want to talk about those things. So Jay, myself, Brandon, we were having those conversations instead of talking about, hey, so what's going on with this poem? Or you want to play some Madden afterwards and all these other things. We were talking grown man stuff to how to get better for our families, generational wealth. So those are the things that I'm interested when I go out of town to talk to like-minded brothers and sisters.
Yeah, that's so
100%.
That's so huge because I don't know the statistic now, but I know last time I looked at it, finances and money typically is number one in suicide, number one in divorce, depression, like all these things. The money's number one, but their whole lives. I don't know about how y'all brothers grew up, but for me and Shaq growing up on the Far East Side of Indianapolis, it was all about protecting and saving what you already have versus going out and getting it. And it's like, just save it, just keep it, just don't lose it. Having that scarcity mindset versus having the mindset of an abundance and that there's more, there's plenty. They done printed over 100% of money in the last 2-3 years to where, people are saying that that inflation is more like 11. Some people all the way up to 18 to 20%. They talking about 3 to 4. Nah, it's 11 to 18. They just not telling us because so much money out here. So having that abundance mindset, and I just want to add one more thing as well, because I know Shaq don't like the word budget. He like, nah, we ain't saying budget. We ain't budgeting nothing. He calls it a financial plan, right, Shaq? Financial plan?
Yeah, absolutely.
So with your financial plan, right? But a lot of people look at that budget or what we'll call a financial plan as a negative. And I know you say you don't have one, Brandon, and there's nothing wrong with that because, that's what you do. I believe that you should have some type of financial plan because it's not a negative situation because people look at a budget or a financial plan as saying, I can't spend this. I look at my financial plan as I get to spend this. It's a different way of looking at it. It's a whole paradigm shift of, I have $1,000 that I get to give away this month. It's not like, I get to give away $1,000 every single month. Here you go, here you go, here you go. And that's what I love to do. I get to spend $700 on food and drinks this month. So now it's a different way of looking at it, and I enjoy it that way. And I kind of gamify and make it fun. So just wanted to throw that out there for people. There's not a one size fits all, but you got to find something that works for you. And we're talking the two things of mental health, and we're talking about the financial health. And if you get those two things right, man, a lot of things in your life is going to be a lot better.
I also like to put in that it's important to ask those uncomfortable questions. So when I date, I got over 800 credit score. So I'm not just dating any woman or marrying just any woman. You're not bringing mine down. So we talk about, there's a poem talking about equally yoked, like for real. So you got to ask, like I'll ask a woman if it's getting sick, like when's the last time you had an HIV test? We're going to have some discussion. We're going to talk. And those are uncomfortable questions for people who don't want to move forward. Like, I don't have this question, but it'll come up down the line if you don't ask that. If you get married and you really didn't know, you're engaged and you didn't know what that person's credit score is, and you try to get a home or try to do whatever, you're 800, you're 720, whatever, and they got 420 or 5. That just brings on stress that you don't even want. So you have to have these discussions. What's your relationship with your father? What's the relationship with your mother? Like these uncomfortable questions, because if you don't have them now, those discussions, you'll have them when you don't want them.
Yep. And I would just piggyback on that and say it's nothing wrong with being a 420. It's nothing wrong with having those issues. But like my brother said, you got to be able to talk about it and then work on it. You know what I'm saying? If you meet somebody who's not able to communicate about it and work on it, that's not for you.
Because there's people who have over 700, over 800, but have bad spending habits. So it's not just the credit score. It's what do you guys all bring into the table? Or you can have an 800 credit score, but your debt to income ratio is trash. So have those discussions.
That's so powerful. And I'll just say this, man. It's the progress, man. Just progress. It don't matter where you at. Identify where you're at right now and understand where you want to go. One of the biggest things that I see a lot of my clients struggle with is understanding where it is they want. Like, what do you want? Like, what is that thing? Where do you want to plant the flag when, like, if you dead and gone, like, and somebody asks you in your deathbed, be like, yo, did you do it? What is that thing that you would say I did? What is that? Most people don't have that.
Building.
Most people don't have that though. So I love the fact that I know y'all brothers got it just based off the conversation we having right now. We just encourage more people, more of the Freedom Finder family to have a plan, know where it is you're going. Make sure we're focusing on the mental health, the financial health. And if you just focus on those two things, like I just said, a lot of things are going to get better, man. So before we get up out of here, definitely appreciate y'all extra times. Where can people find out more about y'all? Where can we book y'all? Where do Instagrams? Go ahead and plug away what y'all got going on.
Go ahead, Sean.
You can catch me at www.IamSeanWilliam, and it is I Am Sean William on every platform: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We talked about my book. I have a book that is out. It is called Sex, Love, Sex, Heartache, and Healing, a series of poems from a serial monogamist. I have another book that's coming out. It's called The First 5 Years. That'll be coming out in June on Father's Day. What it's about is I have a beautiful son who, I'm adopted. My son was my first reflection of what I was able to see of myself. So over all these years, I never knew what myself looked like. So the first 5 years is going to be a series of books from when my son was born to when he was 5 years old. The next series is going to be when he's 5 to 10 to 15. And when he gets to 21, we're going to make it a coffee table book, and all the proceeds go to him when he's 21. So it's, again, legacy building and showing a relationship with father and son and how instrumental that is.
Hey, is that IP? Can I steal that when I start having kids, man? Like, that's
I think that we all should, because my journey's not going to look like yours. Yeah, my journey's not going to look like yours. We should all have those.
Man,
amazing.
I'm just first.
Hey, go ahead. You know what I mean? Go get you a little copyright on that one. That's all you right there. What about you, Brandon? Where can people find out more about you, brother?
Yeah. So on Instagram, Facebook, you can follow us at Encore ATX. That's ENCOREATX. So if you ever come to the Austin area, you gotta check us out. I'll also be posting tour dates on there as well too. I do plan on doing some more touring with my spoken word. So we also have a website, EncoreATX.com, and we're also on Eventbrite. We do a lot of stuff on Eventbrite as well too. So find us on there.
Cool, perfect, man. And the last thing I'll say, man, we just actually with my company, we put together the first ever. It's a recent hire Black Men Summit. And we had about 120 black men there that all came to our Cincinnati, and we had a couple of spoken word artists come out. So next event that we do this, I definitely want to reach out to y'all brothers and get y'all there in person and get us a little networking and all that stuff. So I definitely reach out and make that happen and make sure, because I know y'all brothers planned out. y'all brothers planned out to JFM January, February, March. I'll be talking in talking them corporate terms, JFM, a whole nother language, a whole nother language. But nah, definitely want to get y'all brothers on the calendar for that, because like on top of the spoken word piece, I want brothers to be able to pick your brain. Maybe even it's a panel. So I interview a lot of people. So we may do more of a panel type of thing, because more brothers need to hear about the preparation. We always see the success and all the this, you did this, and all the accolades, but there's so much failure that went in before that. So I want to make sure the brothers are seeing that, like, hey, this is all the good stuff, but let's talk about the stuff that I'm struggling with today. Like, this is some of the bad things. This is not the stuff that I post on Instagram. But let's talk about that in this setting so that we can learn together and we can all grow together. So, brothers, man, y'all exceeded all expectation today. Definitely appreciate y'all, brothers, for coming in. Any last words y'all may got for the Freedom Finder family before we tune out?
I got some last words real quick, man. I'm gonna jump in. Happy birthday!
I want to say thank you to Shaq. I want to thank Shaq for bringing this on here. The first time we tried to do this, it didn't work, but I feel like it was even better this time because we had the other folks with us. So I just want to say thank you, Shaq, for inviting me and being able to invite the other guests as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank y'all brothers for jumping on.
Thank you for having me. Aries Gang, March 28th. We running this stuff. But I thank you for the opportunity, and also I've learned a lot off of this as well. So appreciate you, brothers. Continue on with the much success, and I'll pub you guys as well. I'll promote. So appreciate it.
Appreciate that, bro. I just want to say, man, again, happy birthday to Brandon, man, my guy, man. I also want to give him his flowers real quick, man. So a lot of people, when they go to a new area or they go somewhere, they see a problem, they complain about it. Like Brandon said, man, we don't have anything for Black people to do. He built it, in Austin. Like, he built a brand for, something for Black people to do in Austin. And that's amazing. And then he put on a cruise. I don't know if you're still doing the cruise. Well, COVID came, so obviously you haven't been. But he put on the cruise, man, and I was able to go on my first cruise through his company. So, big shout out to Brandon, man, creating experiences and creating an environment where, where there was a gap.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you, Shaq, for sure. It's a labor of love. Sean know how much work it is, and you guys know how it is doing this podcast. I'm sure so much behind the scene that goes on, but having the conversation that we had today, knowing that somebody might listen to this or is going to listen to this, and it might change the trajectory of their life, So I think that we all have our tags. This is something you guys can take, which you can use. You have tags: talents, ability, gifts, and skills. So how can we use those, to uplift our people and maybe, possibly make some money from it as well too, monetize your passion. So yeah, man, appreciate you guys.
I also want to say this real quick. We're artists and ever, but it is very important for individuals like ourselves to make money. Forget that starving artist type stuff. Make sure you know your worth and get it.
Yeah.
Hey, facts. Go get the money. Hey, brothers, appreciate it. If y'all can hang out for just 2 more minutes so we can log out, we're going to do the outro. But, man, Brandon, Sean, Jay, that was with us, man. Appreciate y'all brothers so much, man. Hey, y'all did y'all thing. We'll keep talking, man. Appreciate y'all brothers.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Shaq T.
B. Scott, another one.
Hey, another banger in the books, man. Like I said earlier, exceeded expectations. These brothers, hey, you know what I'm saying? Hey, if y'all didn't hear the show today, y'all just listened to I don't know how y'all got to the end if y'all hear the show, because y'all definitely heard the show. But man, rewind that thing back, because it's some heavy bombs in here, some heavy gems that that we need more of. So any couple one-liners you took away from the show, Shaq?
I like that double entendre my boy put on it. Sean put on it in one of his freestyles. He said, man, the Trayvon Martin line about the hood, getting shot down in the hood, man, they really resonated with me, man, because a lot of times, we think we're making a lot of progress as Black people, but we can still, you corporate guys, we got hoodies on right now, ironically. We walk outside, we have to be mindful of different things like that, man. But, my closing word is, what we did today is continuing to change that narrative. We can dress how we want to dress, but, as we're successful, we're going to continue to change that narrative and change the view of the Black man in America.
Yeah, man, for sure, man. So I want to give one more shout out to the brothers, man, that came on here. Thank Sean, Brandon, Jay, man. It was an amazing show. Make sure y'all go follow them, because if y'all need some speakers, and not just no artists and poets that are just coming trying to know, professional poets, professional speakers that are coming out to the stage, and they're really bringing that professionalism with them. Make sure y'all go hit them up and get booked for them, because they booked out some months. So make sure y'all go get booked. And the last shameless plug is, you already know, gotta throw in there for the Embolden Dreams. My wife and I created a whole business called Embolden Dreams, where we help former athletes find their identity and purpose. And we're doing that first and foremost in phase 1 of going from a job to career. So on April 23rd, make sure y'all go register. It's free. There is a VIP section to where you can pay $47 and get in VIP and get a whole bunch of extra bonuses, plus extra bonus exclusive training that's going to be ran, and it's going to be called Wealth Building Secrets from anyway, we ain't got time to walk through his portfolio. But if y'all want to get better and elevate, making more money in a more fulfilling day to day, make sure y'all go register. Job to Career Masterclass. All you gotta do is go to emboldendreams.com. Really simple. Go check it out. emboldendreams.com. Links all in the bio. So Shaq T, appreciate you, brother. Another amazing show. And we're gonna be right back with y'all. So that does it for myself. For Shaq T, we signing off. Y'all gonna be great today.